the big thing is, what do you do when you're in the adolescent phase? It's like their ears fall off. They're for decoration only. What do you do? Well, this is what I'm doing. Let's see if she can figure it out. Maybe that'll keep her entertained while I try to vlog. Let's talk about adolescence with dogs. Yeah, we've officially entered the wonderful phase that is every dog owner's wanting to pull their hair out phase. Like, adolescence starts with each individual dog differently depending on the dog. It also is factored in by breed size, type, and even family lineage. Like the breeding lines can affect. Did you get it stuck underneath your bed? Well, you're gonna have to figure it out how to get it out. You got it under there, you can get it out. No, I'd rather you try to figure out how to get it out than you eat your bed. Yeah, you can do it. Anyways, so yeah, Clover has entered into the adolescent phase. As you guys know, my wonderful busy peeps, you guys know that Clover is training to be my service dog. We got her for that purpose. Yeah, so we've entered the phase of, oh my gosh, is she listening? New developmental things, new quirks. So this is common. You know, there's different breeds that are going to hit it different for different periods. They're going to hit it for longer periods. For instance, a Great Pyrenees is not full grown until they're 3 years old, whereas other breeds are considered full grown when they're 2. Small breeds tend to mature faster than larger breeds. Yeah, it's under your bed. You got it up under there. Yeah, you're gonna have to figure it out. You can do it. You know, just it's different for each dog, obviously. But the big thing is what do you do when you're in the adolescent phase? Because all of a sudden you have new problems. You've had this puppy that is listening and well behaved, and suddenly it's like their ears fall off. They're for decoration only. What do you do? Well, this is what I'm doing. Obviously, not everything is going to work for every dog. This is just what we're dealing with. One, we're putting in management back in place in areas where she's had more freedom. She's been housebroke, and suddenly she's pooping in the house at 5 p.m. and she only poops in my son's room. Why this has started, I don't know. We will take her outside. She will do her pee business just fine. And then she will come in, and we know that she likes to poop in their room. We'll take her out multiple times, and she still will go and poop in their room. She does not do this in the morning time. It is just pre-evening. It's ridiculous, this window of time. So we're having to stay on top of her, and if we can't watch her, we are closing their door so she doesn't have access during that time. Or we put her in a crate, which she just does not like, and we have to let her out more often. So, yeah, that's kind of a thing. It's getting a little frustrating, her doing that. So we're kind of having to stay back on top of housebreaking. I know it'll get better soon, so we're just going to ride that wave. Let's talk about how she's dealing with rain. So, when we first got her, we were having rain very consistently, multiple times a week. We didn't stick our patio furniture out, even though the temperatures were lovely, or sometimes it was cold and you didn't want to be out there, but still. Yeah, so she had no problems with the rain. She'd go out and do her business in the rain. She was fine. She was not fazed by the rain at all. Well, we've hit a very, very dry season in our area, and we've had a few little light rains, but they've been very minor, and we've gone days and days and days with no rain at all. So it's been very, very dry. And because it has been very, very, very dry, apparently she's forgotten what rain is. So now the smell of rain makes her alarmed. She can smell when the rain's coming. We've gotten rain over the last few days. We've finally gotten rain, which we're very, very grateful for. I'm very grateful for, but it's hot and muggy this morning. Blech. So my hair is probably frizzy, but it's fine. I don't really care. So this means that all of a sudden she doesn't like getting her feet wet. We discovered this 4 days ago where she does not want to get her feet wet. Like the wet grass freaked her out. I'm standing, normally I just stand on the porch or stand on the sidewalk and she's on a line. I go out there with her, or I stand in the foyer and I watch her from the door to make sure she does her business. And then we bring her back in. Well, she's not going in the grass. My son's having trouble getting her to go out. My husband's having trouble getting her to go out. I'm like, what is the deal? So I realized it was the wet grass. What am I doing about it? Well, I'm gently coaxing her and helping her go into said wet grass and being very calm, very patient with her, gently encouraging her. She's not full freeze, like freak out kind of thing. Did you give up? You gave up on your thing. Are you gonna try to get it now? She's gonna try to figure it out. Wonder how long I have. So yeah, we're just having to make sure not to freak her out more, not indulge her fear. It's one of those things of talking in a soft, calming voice, but firm and authoritative. Like I said, she's not truly afraid. Oh, you got it. Good girl. She's not truly freaked out by the rain. She's just a little suspect of it. She finds it a little sus. So it's fine. We're just kind of helping her. We're not baby talking her. We're able to work with her on it, but the big thing is making sure she goes out to it and sees that everything is okay. So that's been a thing. So this morning I had to go out and walk, and I typically am barefoot this time of year. So I'm having to go get my feet wet, go walk in the rain. I don't even know where my shoes are. Like, unless I'm going somewhere, I don't know where my shoes are. They could be, I don't know. The kids could have thrown them on the roof for all I know. I don't know. I don't know where my shoes are. At least shoes that are easy to put on. So yeah. My feet get wet. So I don't really like that, but it's fine. We'll get through it. Good news is she doesn't seem to be afraid of fireworks. There were some fireworks going off in the distance. It's almost 4th of July, and my husband said that when he took her out and there was fireworks going off, she didn't flip out, which there's always construction happening. We can hear sirens. We've watched movies with fireworks intentionally, with her in a calm and safe place. We've done a lot of prep work for her so that she's not freaked out by fireworks. So, that's good. But yeah, the big thing that I'm noticing with adolescence with her is things that she knew to do before, and this is common. And Laura from Doggy U has been a great resource. I've never heard this from anyone, but I think she said around 8 months, it's pretty normal for the service dogs that she's trained to have trouble with training. And it's almost like they're not as focused, they're more worried about things or whatever. And she's like, it's okay to just kind of not focus on service dog training during this time. It's okay to take a step back, still have training expectations of like good management, like, they need to be respectful, but she doesn't train them as hard and she focuses more on fun, things that are still kind of coming a little bit easier to the dog. So one of the things that we're finding with Clover is all of a sudden, like her brace command, where she goes in between my legs to balance me, which I do not put any weight on her. She has not been cleared by her vet. She is still almost 7 months old, so she is way too young for any actual support. This is just training. But I've been training her for her brace, which I call Help Me Balance. And she's been doing that since she was I've been teaching her to do that since I brought her home at 8 weeks old. So she's good at it. In fact, typically when I'm training her a new thing and she doesn't know what I want, her default trick to try to get me to give her the treat is to try her balance command, her brace. Well, it's a brace command, and she's not doing that anymore. She's struggling with the idea of doing it. She doesn't want to do it. I've been able to walk around the whole house with her between my legs. I've done it with carrying things, and now it's like wait, you're asking me to do this and you're holding something in your hands? Wait a minute, she's all of a sudden worried about me holding something. So instead of getting worried that, oh no, she's defective, oh no, she can't make it as a service dog, oh no, she's failing, I'm failing, all this hard work is going to waste, why can't she get it? Instead of going down that rabbit trail, because of Laura, I know to go, okay, take a deep breath. We're gonna still do it a few times, just to a week, just to kind of keep it fresh in her brain, help her through it, go back to the basics of that behavior that I'm asking her to do. Any behavior, and this is not just what balance, but any behavior, any trick, any task, anything that we've been working on, and all of a sudden she's struggling with. Instead of getting mad at her, she may need to go outside. Okay, my kids are starting to wake up, so I'm gonna try to be quick. She did go poo, which is good, but I had to go walk out in the wet grass and reassure her again that it was, actually, I didn't really say much. I just went out in the grass and encouraged her to come out with me and told her to do her business. But as far as like the training her for things that she's suddenly struggling with, we're just going back to the first step. Sometimes it's okay, we're just gonna go back to luring you. We're going to go back to rewarding you in more places in the steps, things that she's done flawlessly. We're just kind of taking it back. And some days I'm seeing if I can get her to go a little bit further with it, and she does. Other days when I try to do that, she's not focused, she's struggling, and I just kind of take the pressure off and I just go, okay, this is a phase. She's going on 7 months old. It'll be okay. She'll refocus in a few weeks to a few months, and it's okay. And then we do fun things like shake a paw, high five, wave. She likes doing those. I still focus on her behaviors that require manners. So like her down stays, stand stays, sit stays, I still make her do those every day. I probably will for the rest of her life. So that's what we're having to really focus on with her, is just making sure excuse me, but she's chewing on things she shouldn't all of a sudden. No, ma'am. And she's not bad about it compared to other dogs I've had at this age. So, it's, on one hand, I forget she's a puppy because, one, she doesn't look like one and she doesn't act like one. On the other hand, she's still doing very puppy, like testing the waters thing. So, my plan for this is to have patience, know that it will end, know that there are times when I can take the pressure off and I can go, before I do an activity with her, have a game plan for where I'm not undermining myself if she doesn't complete a task or behavior, and I have a way out. Then I evaluate also, am I going to even ask her to do this today in our training session? Am I gonna focus more on fun? Honestly, I think the biggest thing right now that I'm focused on with her is just everything is okay. Everything is okay, and we're just gonna manage. That's another thing that actually has improved. So for like the last month, right before she turned 6 months old, she started doing this thing where she was very controlling and reactive to my kids in the house. And what do I mean by that? That means if my kids were loud and started running through the house, she knows I don't like the loud noise and it stresses me. So she feeds off of that, and she's a German healer. So like that cattle dog and German Shepherd breeding combination wants to say, okay, we need to get control of the situation. So that turns into her reacting to her barking, like letting them, hey, like that's enough. And then she wants to nip the kids and make them stop. So we've had to, we're having to train the kids, train the dog, separate them, and teach her that no, you don't need to control the kids. Like, that's my responsibility. You need to take the weight off. Things would startle her that didn't, which I remember my first puppy that I raised, her name was Selah. She was part Great Pyrenees and part American Bulldog. She was a beautiful dog. Anyway, Selah, about the same time, she got very, she would notice everything, and I would change the calendar and she would overreact. like that kind of thing. What we did for her is I would reassure her, like, and I would show her, hey, Selah, this is okay. Hey, Selah, I brought this box in. You know, we're having a baby, we're setting up a crib kind of thing. That's like, if something new happened and she wasn't in the room, we would bring her in and we would say, Selah, there is something different. Let me show you. I'm going to show you. And we had to do that with her. So I'm taking a similar approach to Clover and Selah because I do see some similar tendencies, that overreaction to new things or things not being quite where she wants them. That's been a real struggle. So I've kind of taken that approach with her and it's working. There's no use in getting mad at her. She's being instinctive. She's working on instincts. She knows she wants to protect her family. She knows she wants to control. And so she's learning. And so instead of being upset that she's doing these things, I understand that this is all new for her and she's being flooded with new instincts and she doesn't know what to do with them. So I'm showing her what to do with them. So we play with the balloon. She likes to herd the balloon. I let her know it's my responsibility to take control of the kids. I'm finding outlets for her. Or we're doing things where I have the kids be crazy and I make her lay down on my bed and she has to lay on my bed and watch my kids be crazy and she just gets praised. And it's working. It's actually working. It's gotten better over the last week. It was very interesting that she was okay with one child being more crazy and wild. Our youngest, she was okay with our 2-year-old. Like, he can take train tracks. I do not advise this, but he can take train tracks and he likes to drum. We call him a little drummer boy. He likes to drum the train tracks. He'll find anything, spoons, chopsticks, whatever he can find that looks like drumsticks. He will drum and he gets very much into the music. He can feel the music. It's beautiful. Anyways, he likes to drum, take them and stand on the floor at the foot of my bed and he likes to drum, or he'll get a box and start drumming. And Clover is fine with this. She will go, like, he will be drumming at the foot of my bed and she will go lay down at the foot of my bed next to him and she'll just completely chill out. Like, she's fine. She doesn't look at him. She doesn't give him side eye. She doesn't snarl. We do not encourage this, by the way, because he could accidentally hit her and all this kind of stuff. But it's very interesting that she will choose to go lay down next to his craziness and she's fine with it. But if I call my older kids from across the house and they don't come, she gets very upset that they did not come when I called them. It's kind of funny. Or if they start running through the house, she does not like that when the older 3 run through the house. So we're having to no, they can. So we're having to make her lay down and be like, it's okay, kind of thing. So it's interesting, but we're having to work through it and it is getting better. She is being beautiful and laying on my sofa. She's so pretty. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we're dealing with adolescence. Nope, I'm pretty sure that's it. Thanks guys for watching. Peace.